Record. This is Carlos Ortiz with MMA Fight Coverage. We got our Roland Sarria. Hey, what's going on?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good. Just been trying to pump these shows out, these Muay Thai shows.
How do you pronounce your last name? I think I might have butchered it. Is it Sierra or Sarah?
Sarria,
Sarria.
or
Okay.
in Spanish is Sarria.
Sarria. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bahala.
So can you tell us about your last couple shows?
Oh man, they've been going really, really well. I tell you, I started off with Muay Thai, and we've been smashing it with good attendance, good fights. We did pay-per-view internet. We had a really good turnout as far as buys. We were very, very happy with that. And our next upcoming event, March 18th, we're going to do pay-per-view internet as well. And it's a new upgrade of the past. So we're slowly trying to progress.
How do you watch it? Like, because I have Roku. Is there like a certain app I get onto, or how do you do it? You could do it in your, what is it? How exactly can we order it?
Oh, yeah, you know what? It's a link. I'm a little bit not too good with the whole Wi-Fi stuff and internet stuff, but usually what I do is I get the link from the company and then I just try to post it, and
Okay.
they hit it and so forth, and yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, like I said, the Muay Thai shows we're kicking butt. We're doing a show roughly every 4 weeks. Getting ready to do MMA hopefully in April. We're pumped up, man. We got a great staff. We're looking really good right now.
So when's your next show?
March 18th at the Club Stratus. We're starting to get a lot of fighters from all over the states now. It's really crazy because when we first started off, we were just Arizona. Now we're starting to get fighters from across the country.
Yeah, especially because a lot of these states aren't really open up yet. So Arizona is definitely the hot spot.
Yeah, Arizona's kicking butt. The instructors, the fighters here in Arizona, they've been great. I can't complain. The Muay Thai, I tell you what, the Muay Thai industry is so different than the MMA. Yeah, it's totally different.
Same with boxing. Yep.
Yeah, it's a very respectful industry. The coaches are professionals. The fighters are well behaved. It's actually really cool.
If someone wants to fight in your card, who should they contact?
Oh, well, if they want to fight in the card, they just got to contact Todd at 480-599-7661. Or they can go to rageinthecage.com and you'll see his email there, rageinthecage2020@gmail.com.
So when you have your MMA show, is it going to be at the same location, or you think you're going to move somewhere else?
Not real sure yet. We're starting to get some looks and some meetings with some of the casinos of lately. It'll probably either be the casino or where I'm at now. I really, really like where we're doing it at now. I mean, the venue is just tremendous.
No, I love it. What casino do you think it might be around, or are you just talking to other casinos?
I'm not sure yet. It's definitely going to be one of the local casinos here, and possibly do one in Tucson as well. Probably Desert Diamond or.
Oh, nice!
Or
I like that one.
Yeah. So we're pumped up. I'm really excited, man. It's crazy, Carlos. Being away all those few years has been the best thing for me, man. It gave me a lot of time to think and recharge my mind and reevaluate my past and think about a lot of things that maybe I did wrong in the past that I never had the opportunity to think because I was always promoting. So in a weird way, what's happened the last few years it was like therapy. It's like it was rehab for me.
Can you tell us about? There's been some rumors about you in the past ripping off some fighters. Do you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. Let me give you some scenarios. Okay. When I was doing Rage in the Cage MMA, I'll give you a few scenarios. A fighter would call me up and say, "Hey, Roland, I want to fight." Actually, they didn't call me up. They called John Petrelli up. And the fighter would say, "Hey, I want to be paid $1,000. John Petrelli will say, "Well, don't take this personal, but, we don't really know who you are.
Yeah.
And, we don't know what kind of crowd you can pull, but this is what we'll do. I know you want $1,000. We'll give you $500. And then instead of keeping $5 a ticket, you can keep $10 a ticket. Okay. So the fighter will say, okay. So he'll come into the weigh-in, he'll sign the contract. And then after the fight, one of his brothers or one of his relatives come up to me and say that I ripped them off. And I'm thinking, sorry, buddy, your brother, whoever he is, he signed the contract, he knows the deal. So that's scenario number one. Scenario number two is a fighter will show up and John Petrilli will come up to him and say, hey, unfortunately, your fighter, they're not past the physical or whatever the case is, but there's another fighter over there. He's a little bit better than the one you're supposed to fight. His record is 7-3. Would you like to take the fight? And the fighter would say, let me talk it over with the coaches. And then he'll come back and either say yes or no. If he says yes, he'll fight. And then after the show again, one of his relatives will come up to me and say, hey, man, you screwed our brother over. You set him up. I said, well, I didn't set him up. He knows the deal. He signed the contract. So maybe he's not telling you the truth about that. And this is what people don't realize, too. When you fight for Rage in the Cage, you sign a contract with the state commission. So it's impossible for me to rip you off. So all those fighters that keep saying that I ripped them off, they should tell people the truth about what really happened. Now, did I ever pay them what they always wanted? Absolutely not in most cases, because we're a small show. A lot of these fighters, they think that they're, some famous UFC star that's supposed to get paid all this money, and they're just beginners. And unfortunately, when you're a beginner, you have to sell yourself until you sell yourself, and then you can call your shots financially.
So, I was going to ask you one more question. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You know what?
Do you have any relationship with past fighters that were on your shows?
You know what? I started training fighters in 1998. So I had a lot of fighters that I personally trained. At one time or another, I laid hands on them. I would say probably 99.9. I do not have a relationship with them, especially the ones that went off and went to another higher level.
Yeah,
they tend to be a little bitter over the situation that we had. But I want to clear this up, because this is one thing that they don't tell you. See, a lot of these fighters that used to train at my school, they got free training, they got free privates, they got a manager, they got a publicist, and I gave them a platform. So what they do is they go around and tell people, yeah, Roland used to pay me nothing. Well, that's not true.
Money. Yeah.
That's not true. I did a lot for them. I managed them, I publicized, I gave them a platform. I trained them personally. I gave them a gym to train at. So a lot of these fighters, for many, many years, I put a lot of time into them. I never got paid a dime. For example, when we used to go to Rumble on the Rock. Yes, I got a flight.
Sorry to interrupt you. I lived in Hawaii back in 02 to 06 when I was in the Army, but I love Rumble on the Rock. But keep going.
Yeah, for example, when we used to go Rumble on the Rock, a lot of my fighters that were trained out of my school went to the pros for the first time ever. Okay, well, we got a flight to Hawaii, and we got a room, and we got a free flight, and guess what? They got paid. I didn't take a penny out of their pay. And then when they come back to Rage in the Cage a month later to fight, for whatever reason, they expected me to pay them what Rumble on the Rock did. They forget about the free training, the free private training, the publicist, manager, and the platform that I give them. That's what they didn't realize. So they went around and started telling people how I screwed them over, how I didn't pay them, and et cetera, and et cetera. Let me tell you something, Carlos.
Okay.
Those fighters could have never paid me for what I did for them.
Oh, yeah.
So, my time and so forth. Was I perfect? Absolutely not. Did I make mistakes? Yes, I did. It was in the entry phase of learning martial arts, learning MMA, learning how to be a manager, learning how to be a publicist. So to answer that question, a lot of the guys that I put hands on that made it big, no, I really don't have a relationship with them at all. Zero.
You wanted to talk about your past, jiu-jitsu past. You used to train with Hickson. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have always said a lot of things about my credibility and so forth. It's kind of like a broken record a little bit. I'm going to give you an example. Look at all these MMA guys that are now BJJ black belts that never put a gi on in their
Yeah.
lives or competed. They'll walk up to the cage with their gi on.
And then
I
knock
mean, come
somebody
on.
out, and then the coach will give him a black belt. You're like, that doesn't look like jiu-jitsu. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But yet I self-promoted myself. I competed as a black belt, went 0-0 with one of the best black belts in the world. But yet I'm a fraud, I'm a fake, and so forth. And a lot of it is politics. Back in those days, the Brazilians were trying to monopolize the BJJ, and they did everything they can to discredit me and hurt me. And that's the story about my whole black belt. This is what I tell everyone. I competed at every belt level. Well, there's a lot of instructors that have never competed in their black belts, and doesn't mean that they can't be great coaches. It's just that they've never experienced competing. And it's really simple. And I'll be upfront with you why they never competed. It's really simple. They're scared. Because I was scared every time as well. But they were scared. So any instructor tells you that he doesn't compete for whatever reason, yeah, he's scared.
All right. Let's I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Yeah.
So any good Hickson stories in the gym or people you train with? Or are you training anybody right now? Or coaching at all?
No. You know what? I train on my own. I'm more into weightlifting now more than anything. I don't really belong to any gym. I don't have a gym. I occasionally do think about opening up a gym again, and then I have to get my senses and realize that that's not what I want. Let me tell you, Carlos. I look back in time, and I think about all these fighters that went off to the UFC or Bellator, and I spent many years with some of these guys. You want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
They have never mentioned my name once, and then on top of that, they badmouth Arizona in terms of when they were training with me. What they don't realize is that I was learning while they were learning. It was a process of MMA. So
evolving.
I was evolving as an instructor as well, and it hurts me a lot in the old days when I would see these guys in the UFC reality show. And these are guys that I personally trained for like 7 or 8 years, and they can't even mention my name. And I say to myself, wow, do they hate me that much? Really? Was I perfect? No, I wasn't perfect. But you know what? I think I was more good than bad.
Yeah.
And for them to never mention my name, even to this day, they don't. It just blows my mind. And this is the crazy part. When they see me, they're like the cowards that they are. They try to pretend they're my friends. Yeah. But you know what? I don't like it. In the old days, I would go along with it. Now I prefer they don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
They try to pretend they're my friends and they thank me for all the things I did. But yet a week later, they'll be on a podcast or something. And they badmouth me. Oh, he's a crook. Oh, he set me up with a big giant guy. He only paid me so much. Oh, really?
Talking about.
Yeah. Oh, really? Why don't you tell them the truth? Tell them the truth. Yeah, but they don't. Because let me tell you why they don't tell you the truth. They want sympathy. Well, I hate to say this, guys. Your careers are over with. Move on. No one cares.
Again, when's your next fight again? And how can we get tickets? Or you're going to have your link on your Facebook or Instagram? Or
yeah, you can just go to Rage in the Cage at Facebook or our website, rageinthecage.com. It's going to be at the Stratus Event Center in Phoenix, March 18th, Saturday. Getting ready to bring MMA back, and we're going to rock. We're going to rock it. We've got a great staff. We've got great Muay Thai fighters, and I'm hoping that the MMA community comes out and supports us.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Unfortunately, I'll be in Detroit that week, but if not, I'll be there. But awesome, thank you, and have a great day. I'm glad we could finally fix our technical difficulties.
Fair enough. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate you.
All right, bye. Peace.